All right, guys. So maths is kind of tricky, but we will get to it. So let's switch to the tab that is the tab 3. I think tab 2. Yeah, tab 3. Yeah, so this is the math. This is going to be label 25, but let's change the name to number 1 because I want this to be specific. So we're just going to say number 1. Then this is going to be number 2. And this is going to be sign. TXT sign. Just make sure you understand this. And this is going to be text box 1. This is progress bar and all that kind of stuff. So this is going to be time. So this will be counting. It will be going like this. When it reaches up to here and you've not typed anything here, then we have to let it happen. So first of all, first thing we have to do is generate a random number. So let's first come here and we will just come down very bottom down, just bottom down here, and we will simply start by coding the bottom down. So we're just going to say private sub, then we say we will just say private sub calculate, or just say private sub maths, like this. So inside this math, we will say that is where we start creating um our random numbers, right? So what we have to do is first of all declare random number. So we're just going to say dim random as new random, and that is going to handle the random number. So now let's declare a min number as integer, and let's set this minimum number to 1. Now let's declare max number as integer, and this integer, let's set this up to maybe the minimum is 1, the maximum is maybe 5. You see, so it depends on what you want to do, how you want to do this. So once we have this, now let's declare random. Let's declare random as integer, which is equal to uh something, right? So this random is going to be an integer, which is going to be is going to be random dot next. You see, so we're going to use next. Then inside the next, we call the min and then the max, like this. So within this random, uh, yeah, we have to call this random. So why is this thing not working? Um, okay, let's say dim random number. Yeah, we have to make this stand out. So this is the random number we are creating, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this again. Then so we will say this is 1. Just make it 1. Set 1 here. 1. Just like this. And this is going to be random number 1. So we are going to copy this and paste it again, and this is going to be random number 2, random number 2, and random, oh, undo that, random number 2. So this is going to be min number 2 and max number 2. So we have one random number 1 for first letter and one random number 2 for next letter. So what we have to say right here is if text box 1 dot text equals to let's create something like answer. So dim answer as integer, right? So this answer is basically going to be 0 for now. So what we will say is if it okay, so the answer is going to be random number 1 plus random number 2. So this is dim, let's say dim plus, right? So that is going to be the plus sign. That is going to be the plus sign, right? So we have to copy the same thing, just paste it according to how many times you have this. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's going to be 4. So we're just going to do it like, yeah. So this is going to be minus. So this is going to be multiply. This is going to be divide. Okay, excellent. Now, if the text box 1.text, we first have to check if we have to set a sign here, right? We have to set a sign here. So select your sign. When you click on this sign, it means the one you will click, it means it is red. So let's double click on this and we will say that let's call this the sign, right? So text sign. So we will say text sign, txt sign dot text equal to, then we set up the number. I mean, this is plus, so we set it up to plus. So here we will say plus is this, and this is minus, we add a minus sign. This is multiply, we add a times sign, and this is division, we add the division sign, like this. So we are good to go. So we will set this to that, copy that, right? Then we come to this, that is minus. We just have to set it up to minus. We do the same thing for the multiplication. Just set it to times, and let's set this to division. Okay, perfect. Now let's come here, the maths. If we're not going to set up the text box 1.text, because we will first check if no, I want us to do something here. So that is going to be the answer. So we will first call an answer here. So let's declare them answer as integer, like this, and let's set this answer to 0, right? So what we're going to say is this maths, let's just take this maths out first. We'll come back to it. So let's double click on this text box. So this text box, when the text is being changed, right? When the text is being changed, meaning when you write something in there, right? When you write something in there, we have to say if text box 1.text equals to answer, then we're going to say nothing. Then we're going to say we have to add a timer which will control this progress bar. So let's add a timer. So this timer 2, okay, we already, yeah, this timer 2 is going to be called, let's rename it to, okay, let's leave it for it to be that timer. So what we will do is when we click on this maths, we have to add a big button here, say start. So let me just copy and paste it here. So we just have to set it up to be start. Okay, so when you double click on this start, we will say timer 1.start, right? So we are starting the timer. So not timer 1, timer 2, sorry. So just change it up to timer 2, because that the timer 2 is what we are using. So what we say is progress bar 1 dot value dot increment should be increased by 1, meaning it will start. So we have to say if the progress bar 1 dot value reaches up to 100, meaning the kid was not able to complete the process, right? So we will say message box dot show. Let's use MSG box. MSG box, and inside the MSG box, we are going to say that you lose. You lost. Yeah. Then we will just try a message box. This is going to be dot critical. Then we say loser. Okay. So if the progress bar 1 dot value equals to this, then this should happen, right? If this happens, let's say timer. Well, if this happens, we first have to stop the timer. So timer 1 dot stop. Then this happens, right? Okay. So timer 1 dot stop. This happens. Then we set the progress bar value to 0. Okay. That's it. Then this text also should turn up to start. So we will say, so what is the button anyway? So we have to know the name of the button. That is button 16. Let's change the button to BTN start, right? So that we can remember. So BTN start. So all we have to say is, we simply have to say that then BTN start dot text should be equal to start, just like this. So they are all caps, so we just have to switch them to start. Okay. All right, so this is it. So this will check to see if the person didn't type what needed to be here, and this goes up to this, it will tell the person that you lost. So inside here, what we will say is, if textbox 1 dot text equals to answer, then we will say timer 1 dot stop, right? Or we will we will say that progress bar 1 dot value equals to 0, meaning it has to start all over again. Now we have to say we have to set the point, so we just have to click on this to see that that is label 28, right? So we just have to come here, then we say label 28 dot text equals to value, just the same thing as we did, label 28 dot text. Now we add plus 10, right? Or let's just add plus 1. Yeah. So after this, we will say my.settings dot maths score equals to label 28 dot text, right? Okay, so this is what is going to happen. Then we say my.settings dot save, right? Okay, so if it reaches out to, let's copy this, if it reaches out to 0, you lose. We will save that current state. So after this happens, then we save this as well. Very, very simple. So if this happens, yeah, it will be adding 1. But how can we fetch the text to this? So all we have to say is we have to set a timer for this random number, right? So we will say that let's cut this random number and this answer here. Let's cut it from here, and let's come to the to the let's come here, right? So we will say if it is answer. So first of all, we just have to add them here inside the text here. So if it is answer, meaning no, let's declare these randoms as, Yeah, I think how do we do here? We have these answers. Let's cut them and put them here. So the numbers, the random numbers should be regenerated anytime. So we just have to say we will be calling this, right? So let's cut this and paste it here. Let's just cut this and paste it here. Now we have to cut this. So dim plus equals to um okay, okay. So what I want us to do is we first have to calculate this. So if text box 1 dot text answer, if it is going to be answer, so we have to declare the answer here. So this answer is it. So the answer is equal to be wow, this is quite confusing. Right, so let's do it this way. Um let's just clear this. Right, this is not important because first of all, we will be changing the text of this. We will changing the text of this. So this is basically the sign. So we will say that dim answer. So answer is going to be random. Okay, so we just have to declare the answer in here. So we come here, answer equals to be random number 1. You see, then we add end sign to end sign. Then we say end. Then we say txt sign dot text. Then we say end. Right, so where is the end sign? And oh, come on. Then we say random number 2. Yes, so this is answer. This will first generate, then it send it to this one. So it will first check if the answer is this, then it should do this, right? Else it will not do anything. Else it will not do anything. The timer will still continue to work. So it will just switch this back. So let's see for the start, right? Let's see for the start here. Remember, so we have to use if statement here. The timer 2 is starting, so we have to use if statement. So let's take it out. If button 16, if btn, yeah, btn start dot text equals to start, then we will say timer 1 dot start. Then we say btn start dot text equals to stop. Then we say else if btn start dot text equals to stop, then we will say timer 2 dot stop, right? Meaning you want to stop. Yeah. Then we say btn start dot text equals to start. Good. So if you are stopping it, then if the timer stop, we have to reset the progress bar 1 dot value to 0. Excellent. So we will be resetting this to 0. If it is start, then the timer will start and it will do the work. So if it is not true, just stop it, then it set the progress bar dot 0. But remember, whatever you do, whatever value it changes, it will save the score. It will first add the score and it saved the score. So let's test it out and see. I'm hoping this should work so that you guys can basically understand what I'm trying to say here. So let's go to the learn maths. Now we have to click on this sign. You see, when I click on this, you see it is sign. See, yeah, see, so this is plus. So we just have to hit on start. start. You see the timer is going, but as soon as we hit on the start, 0 plus 0 is 0. Oh, what happened? Okay, so it says conversing of string 1 plus 2 type integer is not valid. So it is trying to convert from string into 1 plus 2 as a type integer. So what we have to do is going to be the sign. I think this should be it. It's going to be the sign dot text dot to value. I think it's not going to be well, let's set a sign. So let's set a sign here. So you're going to say dim sign as integer equals to maybe plus, right? Like this should work, right? Should it be an integer or we should use an object? I think we can use an object. Oh, come on. So let's make it this way. So we're going to use if statement here. As I told you, if statement is very, very interesting. So let's try if statement here. So if we say txt sign dot text equals to, then we add a plus sign. We first have to check that. Then we will say this should happen, but this is going to be plus, just like that. It's going to be plus, just like this. Yeah. Then we say else if txt sign dot text should be equal to maybe minus, then we do this, then we set this to minus. Then we say else if txt sign dot text equals to division, then we say this should be set it up to division. Yeah, I have really taken my time to take you through this. Else if txt sign dot text equals to, that is multiplication, then we do this, then we set it up to multiplication sign like this. Excellent. So now we are declaring answer here. So we check the answer. I don't know. Them answer as integer equals to random. So we just have to dim answer as integer here, and this we set it by default to 0, right? So that this is going to be working. Yeah, this is going to be working, right? So we have an answer, or we can just cut an answer here. It will still work, I think. So what we want to do is we will say answer equal to. So answer equal to, because we are calling the answer only. So it's going to be answer equal to, then answer equal to. So it will first check the answer. It will assign the answer. Then we come here, then we assign this. So it will first check if it is this, then it does the calculation. Then after the calculation, we will just check this out, right? So let's test it out and see. Think we will go one more, then that will be all. Okay, so let's go to learn maths. Okay, so we have to say start. So start. Okay, so this is going to be 0. Come on. 0. So converting from string 0 to the type double is not valid. So if that should be the case, the answer shouldn't be integer, but it should rather be double, right? Okay, let's check it out. All right, so what we have to do is whenever we click on this start, we want this random number to fire, right? We want this random number to fire. So we just have to copy this for the first time. Then when this starts, before the timer starts, we will do this, right? We will do this. Then we assign the number one dot text to the random number one. Then we say number two dot text to random number two. Okay, so let's start it again and let's see. I believe this should work. So we go to the learning maths. So we click on start. It will generate a random number. So we need plus sign here. Start. So you see 3 plus 3 is 6. You see? Then it needs to generate a different number. When this happens, we have to clear this. You see the score is coming 1. 3 plus 3 is 6. So we will say, let's come here for the text change. If the value sets up to 0 and this happen, we will say text box 1 dot clear, right? Like that. We are clearing the text so that we can prepare for a new thing, right? So let's try that again and let's see. This is really becoming interesting. I will be leaving the source code and the full project to you, so it doesn't really matter. Whenever you want to do this, you can actually get it started. So let's click on this. 3 plus 4 is 7. 3 plus 4 is 7, right? It's 7. Oh, come on. Okay, converting from string 7 to the type double is not allowed. So the answer is actually not it's a double. So why? Well, let's use double for the integers. I don't know why this is actually doing this. Yeah. Well, it should be like this, but I don't know why. It should be, in a form of kind of answer way, right? So let's do it again. Okay. So we click on start. 4 plus 1 is 5. 5. Wow. Converting string 5. Okay. So if textbox1.text equals to answer dot to string. Okay. So let's use dot to string and see. I think this should convert it from a double into a string. This should work. This should work. So 1 plus 2 is 3. 1 plus 2 is 3. So why is this thing not working? Ow, ow, ow. Come on. Got to be kidding me. Okay, so let's see the timer. If this reaches out to 100%, the timer is stopping. Oh, it's timer 1. Let's set it up to timer 2. It's not timer 1. Sorry. That's why it's timer 2, right? But let's see from here. If textbox1.text equals to this, then progress bar dot value equals to this. Let's clear before this happens. Yeah. So now we can switch back from double to integer. I think it should work. Okay, I mean this should work, right? Yeah, this should basically work. Let's try it once again and let's see. I believe we will be going for the last version of this, and it should be fine. So learning maths, going for additional sign, click on this. 4 plus 1 is 5. 4 plus 1 is 5. 4 plus 4 plus 1 is 5. It's 5. 5. You lose. So let's start again. 2 plus is 3. Oh, come on. I don't know why this is actually not working. Oh, come on. Oh, I don't know why this is actually not working. I don't know. I don't know. So let's cut this from here and let's paste it. Let's paste it here. Um, so this random number should be regenerated anytime. So let's just cut it. Then we say when okay, so when this happens and it sets back to 0, then we will say it will fires. This is actually there, so we have to basically fire this again, right? So the text will clear, then it fires this again. Yeah, so that the random number can keep itself generating. So all we have to say is okay, let's just try and create private sub generate number here, and let's put this here. So all we have to say is generate number, right? So you just have to call the generate number. So here we just have to say let's cut this and let's bring them here. Yeah, so we just have to call the generate number, I think. So we are generating this. This is going to run anytime this is being changed or this happens, right? So it's first going to check. Yeah. Yeah, I think this is not even important because, yeah, so let's check it out and let's see. Now, let's go to maths. Let's click on the sign. 3 plus 3 is 6. 3 plus 3 is 6. Come on. Okay, we have to use the timer instead. I don't know. So this, let's cut this from here. I don't know why this is actually not working. Let's cut it from the text box. Then let's come to the timer because the timer is always fires. So we have to check that from here. Yeah. So we will be using the timer to check. If the timer stops, it stops, right? Yeah. So let's start it again and let's see. You just have to try your hands on these things because we are learning all these together, so you should be able to. So 3 plus 1 is 4. I think it's 4. Oh, come on. Wow. So let's try this as well. Let's cut this from here. Let's send it back to the text box. Text change. I don't know why this is not working. So let's just cut this from here. Then let's bring it to here. Let's bring it to here instead. Then let's see what happens. I don't know why this is actually not working. It should, I mean, it should work because it is currently checking all these things before it really works. So we have this, click on start. 2 plus 2 is 4. Soon as it enters 4, it should have, just okay. Let me see something. uh Text change. Oh fuck, I don't know. So I believe there is no rush in this. Let's end here. But before we end here, let's delete these guys, the random, the generator, and the text box changed. Just clear them. And also the button, men, and all these guys, clear them. We will do that on our next video so that you won't get confused. And the timer as well, clear the timer. Just like this, just clear them. Now, it's kind of look like we've not added anything yet. Only these guys are functioning. Yeah, so let's meet on our next lesson where we explain very, very vividly about how this thing works because I think I have made it very complicated. So let's assume we've only added this text sign, text sign, text sign, text sign. So I'm going to delete all of these. Just delete them. So we will start afresh by just adding all these things and you know all the timer, the timer too, you have to delete it and you are good to go. So let's end here. We will meet on our next video where we clarify everything.